So this slide should not be hard to tell because you see these structures. These are mature or tertiary follicles. Here's another one that has not intersected the developing ovum. Okay? So if we come down here, let me look at what you have to know. The tertiary follicle is this entire structure. The oocyte that's still undergoing meiosis is this right here in the middle. Okay? And you'll see that sometimes our section has intercepted the oocyte.
Can you show the tertiary where that is again, please?
This is a tertiary. This is the follicular fluid filling a space. This is the oocyte. This is a tertiary follicle that has not intersected the three-dimensional region where the oocyte is located. So we have multiple tertiary follicles on here. We'll just call it a tertiary when it has a big fluid-filled space. If we look superficially on the organ, and I'm only at scanning power, we see all these little spherical spots. Those are the primordial follicles in egg nests, and they're always very superficial. So here, again, is the mature follicle. And you see it has all these follicular cells out here. Here is probably called a secondary follicle. I don't think you have to identify that. Here is a primary follicle. You don't have to identify that. But you do have to be able to call these the primordial follicles. And they're sitting in clusters, and we just call that an egg nest. Okay? Now, the tunica albuginea does surround the ovary as a fibrous capsule. It doesn't stain or appear different here, so it's a little bit challenging for me to suggest that you even really recognize it, but it's actually a pretty clear layer. It's just color-wise, it's no different. So that this outer thickness is tunica albuginea, and then at the very surface is a germinal epithelium layer of cuboidal cells. And on this particular slide, we're not picking that up. So I'm going to do one more thing on this slide, and then I'm going to go to another slide. I'm going to go back down to scanning. And I want to remind you that we have two layers. We have the ovarian cortex, which reaches as deep as the last follicles. Okay? So anywhere there's follicles, the layer is ovarian cortex, yes?
Can you point out the tunica albuginea really quick now?
At this power, it's just this outer layer.
Oh, okay. And then the germinal.
I can't show you on this slide. I have to change slides for the germinal epithelium. But as we come into the middle here, where we just have blood vessels, and these are actually little arteries, this is a longitudinal length along a vein, this is ovarian medulla. Okay? We don't have the follicles. Yes, we have some openings, but if we look up, if we look at higher power at these lumens, you'd recognize them as arteries. So as we go across, we will eventually pick up, unless we're going out the hilus, which we did, we'll eventually pick up follicles, and this is ovarian cortex. Okay, so it's a little bit subtle, the boundary between the medulla and the cortex, and they're not any given shape. Yes?
And there's the part about the medulla.
The medulla is that part of the organ that does not have follicles in it. It's the core part of the organ where the blood vessels come in, and so I have a funny slice through the organ here, but all of this is medulla. But this is a follicle. So this is a border right here between medulla and cortex. Okay, so this is medulla. And the cortex starts at about this level and goes out to the surface.
So the cortex starts where?
It starts where you see follicles. Anywhere there's follicles, that is ovarian cortex. So the follicles, the deepest layer is right here, and then out to the surface of the organ is cortex. Okay?
Yeah,
Too
I'm
fast?
trying to look at everything, it's going really fast.
Okay, I understand. The uterus then, I pulled two